she was living her dream as a rising star on a Netflix reality show, smiling for the cameras, winning the hearts of millions. Every episode made her more recognizable. Every appearance added to her growing popularity. And every moment on screen made viewers believe she was unstoppable. Until a dark secret from her past caught up with her in the most brutal way possible. This is the heartbreaking and calculated murder of Ana Páez, a vibrant fashion designer whose life was stolen by the one person she trusted the most. Ana Páez was a 35-year-old talented fashion designer living in Barcelona, Spain. She was creative, ambitious, warm, and full of life. The kind of woman who didn't just enter a room, she changed its energy completely. Friends described her as someone who could make people feel comfortable within minutes. Someone who listened, laughed easily, and carried a natural charm without even trying. In the fashion world, Ana had built a strong reputation through years of hard work. She wasn't just talented, she was consistent, passionate, and deeply dedicated to her craft. Her designs reflected personality, emotion, and bold creativity. And slowly, her work started getting attention beyond Spain. Then came the moment that changed everything. Ana was selected to appear on a popular Netflix dating reality series. For her, this wasn't just exposure, it was a breakthrough. Millions of viewers across the world saw her on screen. They saw her smile, her confidence, her honesty, and her emotional depth, and almost instantly, she became a fan favorite. People didn't just watch her, they connected with her. She seemed real in a world full of performance. And for the first time in her life, Ana was stepping into global fame. But behind the cameras, life was not as perfect as it looked. Ana was going through a difficult personal phase. She had recently ended a turbulent relationship that had left emotional scars. The kind of relationship that doesn't just end, it lingers in memory, in trust issues, and in silent moments. On top of that, sudden fame brought pressure she was still learning to handle. Expectations grew overnight, privacy disappeared, and her life became something constantly observed. Despite everything, Ana was trying to rebuild herself. She was focused on her career, her independence, and starting fresh. She believed in second chances, in people, and in herself. Friends often said she was loyal to a fault, someone who trusted deeply and forgave easily. And that trust, unfortunately, would become the most dangerous part of her life. Among the people closest to her was a woman named Maria Angeles Molina, known as Angie. To Ana, Angie was more than a co-worker. She was a mentor figure, a confidant, someone older, experienced, and seemingly stable. Angie had gone through her own tragedy years earlier, the loss of her husband, and appeared emotionally grounded and supportive. She offered advice. She listened. She stayed close during Ana's stressful moments. And slowly, she became someone Ana trusted completely. But what Ana didn't know was that Angie was living a life built entirely on lies. Behind her calm personality was a long history of deception, fraud, and identity manipulation. She wasn't just hiding secrets. She was actively constructing a double life. Fake identities, fake documents, and financial schemes designed to exploit trust. And Ana had unknowingly become the next target. For months, Angie was quietly working in the shadows. She began using Ana's identity without permission. Loans were taken in her name. Insurance policies were opened. Documents were forged with precision. And the most shocking part, Angie even impersonated Ana physically at banks, sometimes using disguises like wigs to match her appearance. Every step was calculated. Every move was planned. And every action was leading towards something far darker than financial fraud. On February 19, 2008, Angie invited Ana to a rented apartment in Barcelona. The meeting seemed completely normal on the surface, a friendly gathering, a private conversation between trusted friends. Nothing unusual, nothing suspicious. At least, that's what Ana believed. Once inside the apartment, everything changed. Ana was drugged using chloroform. Her body weakened rapidly as she lost control of her surroundings. In that vulnerable state, she was unable to resist what came next. A plastic bag was placed over her head. It was sealed tightly with duct tape. The scene was carefully staged to resemble something else entirely. An attempted sexual assault gone wrong. Even DNA from two different men was planted at the scene to mislead investigators. It wasn't random. It wasn't emotional. It was methodical. And it was designed to delay the truth for as long as possible. Ana Páez was found naked in the apartment. Her life had ended in one of the most disturbing and calculated ways imaginable. But the horror of the case didn't stop there. It had only just begun. After the murder, Angie didn't disappear. She didn't panic. Instead, she continued living inside Ana's identity. For 2 full years, she withdrew money from accounts. She took out additional loans. She benefited from insurance and financial systems still linked to Ana's name. In every sense, she was still living Ana's life while Ana was gone. When investigators first discovered the case, they were confused. The crime scene suggested a sexual assault. There were no clear motives, no obvious suspect, and no immediate explanation. It looked random at first glance, but something didn't fit. Then slowly, financial inconsistencies began to surface. Loans taken under Ana's identity, forged documents, suspicious transactions, and eventually, CCTV footage showed a woman impersonating Ana inside a bank. That was the turning point. Investigators followed the trail carefully, and it all led back to one person, Angie, the trusted friend, the confidant, the person closest to Ana. Once arrested, the truth unraveled completely. Angie had been planning and executing fraud for years, and Ana's murder wasn't a sudden act of violence. It was part of a long-term strategy to erase evidence, eliminate risk, and secure financial gain. The trial that followed became one of the most widely followed cases in Spain. Every detail shocked the public: the betrayal, the impersonation, the level of planning, and the emotional coldness behind it all. In the end, Angie was convicted of murder and sentenced to 22 years in prison, later reduced to 18 years on appeal. A sentence that could never truly reflect the emotional damage left behind. As of 2026, Angie remains behind bars, but the case continues to be discussed worldwide, not just for its brutality, but for what it reveals about trust, manipulation, and hidden lives. In 2025, the Netflix documentary, Angie Fake Life, True Crime, brought the story back into global attention. New audiences learned about Ana's life, her dreams, and how quickly everything was taken away. Ana Páez was a talented, ambitious woman who was living her dream and inspiring thousands. But her life ended at the hands of someone she considered family, someone she trusted completely. And that is what makes this case so haunting. Her story is not just about murder. It is about deception that hides in plain sight, about trust that is exploited, and about how danger is sometimes not a stranger, but someone standing right beside you. Her murder remains a chilling reminder that sometimes the most dangerous people are the ones we trust the most. What do you think? How can we better protect ourselves from identity theft and betrayal by those closest to us? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one. If you want more chilling true crime stories like this, Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. A brand new case drops every single week. Thank you for watching. This is Ship Media. Stay safe out there, some